No, yeah, it's prime time rapping. Let's go ahead and get into it. We got our challenger over here. Let's go ahead and get into our main man, the champion himself. No need for introduction.
Super hot. Super hot. Yeah, I just want to start off by saying that the original SuperHot is one of my most favorite indie games of all time. It was definitely, certainly, the most innovative shooter I've played in years. Mostly because I didn't pick up Splatoon for a multitude of personal reasons. But yeah, SuperHot. A Matrix-feeling game with a Matrix-like plot, I think. I don't really fully understand it. Shooting red guys is fun. People and critics said that the game was great, but offered too little, which, well, I disagree with somewhat, as I somehow pumped out a good 20 hours of enjoyment out of it. Endless mode was just dumb fun. That had to be what sucked the most hours out of me. Also, there's other little thing that took me a while. I remember when I first got out of bounds and discovered the secret. I then went on a little crusade, scouring through every level until I found every single one. And I was able to find them all but 3. I had to use a guide. I was hoping to go guideless, and, well, going guideless is something I definitely can't say about this new game. Less about breaking out of bounds and more so solving logic puzzles. Okay, I am getting way ahead of myself. SuperHot. Time moves as you do, so you can dodge enemy fire in a constant bullet time. Plan out your movements, react gunshots, and bob and weave through bullets. Very fun. Highly replayable, kind of addicting. SuperHot, Control Mind, Mind Control Delete is a sequel that mostly plays the exact same as the original, but with a few new gameplay elements that I am going to lay out in a minute. As the first thing that it gets in your face when playing this game is the nearly non-existent yet persistent and cryptic plot. As loosely established in the first game, you're some schmuck using some kind of retro-futuristic DOS computer with VR compatibility that can create 3D polygonal graphics using ASCII art. I'm not making this up, and I find that weirdly awesome. And there's this leaked video game called SuperHot that you just had to play. Now, spoilers for the first game, because that's how sequels be, but yeah, in universe, game evil. Evil is a rather subjective term. Something about a shadowy group of people or an AI that's stealing consciousnesses for either its own nefarious purpose or on behalf of some megacorp that may or may not be the Illuminati and may or may not be pretending that the said AI or group is out of control and may or may not be at war with a hacker group that may or may not exist. Maybe you should play it and find out. Personally, I always thought that I was like being tricked into possessing random people in real life and then using the time-bending SuperHot abilities to make them kill off certain people in groups for some shadowy organization, and I still can't shake the feeling that that's the case. But yeah, evil AI, I think that's what most people assume what's happening. Anyways, the evil game be sucking out the minds and souls of its player base in ways that would make EA and Activision blush, but seems to be having trouble with this one particular individual. You. Why? Because you're not just a regular video game player. You're a hardcore gamer. You're the type of person that liked SuperHot, but demanded more content as you ignore spreading this game to others and just spent all your time in the endless mode endlessly. I want more moves. I want more guns. I want more levels. I want more red guys to kill. This dude. I thought we took his free will, but he just keeps playing. What the heck? Like, come on, man. It's just a bland white game where you just shoot red people. I want more. My katana only runs are getting old. Fine. We'll give you more to play with, but we're going to spam the word more everywhere until it makes you physically sick to see. As said, This game plays near identically to the first game, so here's a few criticisms I had with the first game that I hope to be implemented despite never ever voicing them anywhere on the planet. One thing that I had a problem with that didn't get fixed is no crouching. Like, come on, let me slow-mo duck under bullets. Let me be like Neo. I also silently wished for some hardcore real-time mode. The problem with that is that I think the enemies are like too optimized for the slowed down game speed. Like, if you were to look at them at normal speed, they have like instant reaction time. Plus they just sneak up behind you all noiseless like. Even surrounding you, like, even though you swore like a second ago that everything was clear. I found myself in that situation a bunch of times. They do give you some mercy, especially now in this game. Enemies behind you usually miss their first shots, and if they melee, you'll tank through the damage like once per level with the message, "Watch your back." Plus, they aren't completely noiseless. Always listen out for that signature gun click. And also, try to memorize all the spawn gate locations. Let's see, other things I wanted was more arena-like levels, more guns, more melee weapons, more abilities, more of a campaign, and, well, yeah, that's it. Just more. And that's exactly what this game promises to bring. As expected, there's new guns! Oh, I'm sorry. A new gun. The, fish gun? A rail cannon bolt gun thing shooter? It works like how you would think a sniper rifle would work in a game like this. But yeah, come on, only one gun, really? At least bring back the SMG from the VR game. Maybe also dual wielding while you're at it. Yeah, I wish there was more guns and maybe even have variants on like the classic pistol, double-barreled shotgun, and burst rifle, like possibly also having a revolver, a pump action shotgun, and a full auto rifle. But I get it. These firearms are heavily balanced to serve their own unique purposes. So changing them all up or just adding more willy-nilly will probably just throw the whole game flow off. Well, they did add more melee weapons to the game, but they all functionally act like the baseball bat. Also, katanas. When you click on a bullet, it no longer cuts it in half, which, while cool, was functionally useless and honestly puts you in more danger because of a weapon's cooldown. In this game, slashing bullets in mid-air deflects them back at the enemy, which is really satisfying and very, very useful. Plus, all the melee weapons do this now. The main change of the game has to be the progression. Instead of screwing around on your DOS machine and going through a string of individual campaign levels, your character annoys the AI so much that it creates this dungeon-like, Mario overworld-like chain of nodes. These nodes have you going through a randomly sorted out list of stages that you go through, killing the untold required amount of enemies before advancing to the next. If you die, you start at the very beginning with a new random set of stages. Don't worry, a new feature of this game is health. Another thing that will help you out is that occasionally you'll pass by these corrupted spots, where you will then be offered to equip one of two of your collected hacks. Hacks are these special abilities that you find in the overworld as you progress through the game. They do stuff like make you faster, extend your melee range, decrease ability cooldowns, kill enemies by jumping on them, that sort of deal. As you collect more, you'll notice that many of them have good synergy, and that you'll be able to create builds if the RNG plays nice with you. Here are two of my most favorite builds that I always try to get when I play the game. Also, on your journey, you'll collect what are known as cores. These are your main abilities, and there are 4 main ones and a couple secret ones for you masochists out there. My favorite? Charge. You can also find lore pieces, other game modes, and them. I'm going to spoil this game now, so skip here because I definitely recommend playing this game at least partially blind. But yeah, them. You come across and set loose 3 unkillable enemies, who all have abilities focused around your cores. Something that I've noticed before it was pointed out to you, so haha, I'm smart. I just want to say that whoever came up with dog Screw you. Screw you. Thanks for turning my gleeful power fantasy into an anxiety-ridden panic attack. Well, at least at first. After a while, whenever these guys showed up, it became more like another piece of this puzzle I needed to take into consideration while strategizing my next moves. Now, at least that hot switching one's fun to play around with. And daggum, I just really want a sword duel ninja, however you say his name. Yeah, the gimmick with these guys is that one of them will randomly drop in during stages, signaled by their own little jingle. Since I'm already in spoiler town, I might as well give my thoughts on the ending. So, annoyed by your more-ing, the game tries to make you give up all your powers and, subsequently, your control over anything. Once it thinks it has holds on you, your character Bloodlust breaks him out of her trance and he's like, "Oh, you were trying to take control of me? I thought I was just progressing through the game. Good thing I made this backup when you started talking about giving up my abilities." "No! You stupid flesh creature!" Ah! And then you sit through a 2.5-hour progress bar that's unskippable unless you don't mind messing with values in Notepad. Was this really necessary? I know you aren't actually moving files or recovering files on my computers. This is just an intentional waste of my time. Like, just make it 20 minutes and play the credits during it. Once you sit through that, you'll start to see these super hard bonus levels. So, yay, I still need to beat them. In spoilers. Yeah, this game does its job of making you hate the concept of more. You go from, "Oh yes, more," to, there's more. As creative as this setup is, and although there's lots of random factors, from powers to enemy placements, these nodes just get extremely repetitive. Although there's a crap ton of maps this time around, I feel like I'm just mostly bouncing through all the same stages back to back. Like, I knew there was eventually going to be a node with all the stages in it, but I didn't imagine that it would be like the Pit of 100 Trials. Jeez. Focus on survivability hacks for that one. I got through it by the skin of my teeth. There's also an endless mode, like in the first game, and also an infinite stages mode, which is basically the node levels, but it's endless. Almost forgot to mention, as you progress, you encounter new enemy types like armored dudes, exploding spiky dudes, and red weapon dudes whose weapons can't be stolen. You also come across environmental hazards like explosive spike mines, intrusive walls of junk, and trippy depth perception. Just like in the first game, I think I spent the majority of my playtime in the endless mode, but I personally didn't find it as satisfying. Due to the more simple nature of the first game, endless mode felt like a true test of survival. You could be styling on all the incoming attackers, but all it takes is one slip up, and that's your score. Here, with the hack abilities you can synergize, you can get a broken loadout, especially in areas with only 3 enemy spawns or a good enough bottleneck that you can just effortlessly keep a dance up indefinitely. Look at this score. I killed over 300 enemies and had like 4 HP. I had to voluntarily quit. Or in other words, I accidentally exited while trying to record my MLG comp for the start of this video. One solution I have would probably to have one of them show up every 10 waves or so. That'd really test your skills. I mean, you can always go pure core, but I find the abilities to be actually fun. Plus, I wish it had its own separate score, so yeah. Also, while we're at it, rename Disco to Rave, because if Disco sounded like the new Doom soundtrack, it most certainly would not be dead.
SuperHot.
Also, please bring back Bridge as my favorite level. Overall, I still highly recommend this game. Would I recommend it over the first game? Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I'd recommend playing the first one first, and then playing this one right after. Maybe you can find them both on sale at some point. Still though, these games are awesome, and they make you feel awesome. And I love games that feel awesome. I'm TreyGamer58. Like, subscribe, and play SuperHot. It's the most innovative, collective conscious shooter I've played in years. Yay.